they are the face of the organization. They come into the media. They are known to a large group of people, but they may not be that well known either. I mean, I think Juncker was very well known now in the end. Probably Barroso was not so much. But basically, the person is supposed to be capable to steering the organization. On the other hand, if you see certainly this organization, the European Commission, with 30,000 people, I think everything is ready for von der Leyen for next week to give her State of the Union in the European Parliament, and probably she will only change 2 to 5% to the speech, because the plans are ready and the Commission is simply waiting to have the new Commission President to go to the European Parliament to be possibly voted first, but that looks like being a done deal. I mean, the three groups in the European Parliament have agreed, have shared the top jobs, so she will most likely be accepted next week, and then she will deliver the speech, but it is done. Of course, it must be an acceptable face. I mean, on top of that, she's now a woman. Let's say that is also extremely important, because this organization was seen, not only this one, but also the other EU institution, to be an old boys network. Now we have a rejuvenation coming, so that's also, again, important, let's say, towards the public opinion. But again, on the other hand, the plans are ready, so she can only change a little bit. Of course, it may be a bit more important for other organizations, like, take for the ECB, because there, the grilling, for example, in press conferences of the ECB president is extremely tough. And there was a debate last week amongst economists, can she do this? I mean, Lagarde, as a non-economist, I mean, be responding to very technical questions in the press conferences from, for example, colleagues of yours from, who ask questions about inflation, about output gap, about productivity. But then people said, but Lagarde has done this very well in the IMF. Why couldn't she do this in the ECB? So also there is a consensus. But again, the machinery is there, the ECB is there, and will continue to run. And she will be extremely well prepared by all the staff which is surrounding her at the ECB. It's a well-functioning institution already. Where it may matter most of these four top jobs is probably the head of the European Council, which is more a diplomat, and the other diplomat, which is the High Representative for Foreign Affairs, which is Josep Borrell. Again, we don't know whether all four of them will be accepted. It looks like, but for these two last positions, it's more the diplomacy which matters, the views of that single person. But again, the overall views is that both would do it well. Charles Michel, the Belgian who will become the head of the European Council, is seen to be a bit young, but again, he was a prime minister for 4 years and has done it well. And then Borrell is already fairly old, 72, but he has an enormous expertise, which I think in foreign policy is extremely important. And the Spanish, I think, hope to have a kind of a repetition of the Solana effect of the early 2000s, when Solana was extremely popular in Europe and did a lot, for example, in Ukraine, but also elsewhere, that he can do something like this and can represent the EU abroad.
When we talk about the Commission, you talk about continuity and the person running it being essentially a figurehead, a communicator. There are moments where it matters who's in that job, and as the Europeans prepare for what will no doubt be quite difficult trade negotiations with the United States in particular, do you think that von der Leyen has the gravitas to stand toe-to-toe with President Trump and say nein when she needs to?
That is a big question mark, and that's why, for example, in Germany there is a lot of opposition, but also in German members of the European Parliament to her nomination. That remains to be seen. I personally wasn't convinced 5 years ago that Juncker would be capable of doing this, but if you see what he did in the end, also that famous meeting end of July last year with Trump, where he was very tough and where they came to an agreement not to have tariffs except for cars between the EU and the US. That was remarkable, and that was because Juncker has this experience of being 30 years into politics. Has von der Leyen sufficient experience? I don't know, but I would give her the benefit of the doubt. She comes over a very charming person. Who knows? Let's say that she will be capable of doing this. I'm not entirely sure, but I would give her the benefit of the doubt. I myself have called for a piece which I published on this a year ago. We need to have a strong leader for the Commission, but we'll have to see whether it is a strong leader.
Hi, I'm Joanna Bersecci, and thank you for watching. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more from CNBC International. Thank you for watching.